I'm gonna try going on a road trip and hiking and just getting lost in the wild. I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared that I've made the wrong decision. But at the same time, like, I know it's the right decision because it's not what I wanted. It's something that I romanticized and thought would make other people proud. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be the only person I have in life. Like, the closest person that I'll ever have. I'm gonna be the only person I'll have till my death. From birth to death. And I want to make sure that I'm happy. And I'm gonna try and figure out exactly what that is. Because I'm scared of going on that journey, of figuring it out. But honestly, it feels right. Like, I have more peace of mind. And I feel closer to myself. And I feel like the world's more real again. Like, I'm slowly starting to have that mental space that I did when I was a kid. That mental space that I never thought I'd feel again, that just goes away as a part of adulthood. So, I'm going on a 15-mile hike today, my first solo hike since I've unofficially dropped out of Caltech. That sounds so weird to say. But I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, and I'm excited to see what I'm gonna discover about myself, but I'm also dreading that so much. But honestly, if I could just be outside for a living, I think that would be my true highest peace, my heaven. Yeah. So I'm gonna share that. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. So when I say unofficially, I say so not necessarily to keep all my doors open, as if they were to close had I turned my head any other direction, but to remind myself that I will inevitably find myself walking through the doors that effortlessly open in my presence. For the true challenge comes not in picking open their locks, but in finding the courage to take those steps towards and through these open doors, and to choose to keep doing so, one after the other. So I say this to remind myself that it is in my intuition as how to open the doors that have my name inscribed in their cross rails. That the doors meant for me will always open, unless I willingly close them, or even then, I say this to waver any doubt that some may still open indefinitely, regardless of how many times they are closed, just each time with new scratches and blemishes. I say this as a reminder that I can only walk through one door at a time, that I'm never limited by choice in which doors to open, and never limited by power in which doors to close. That some doors I may create through my own will, and some I might find by surprise. Some may be gifted by the many souls that grace my life, and some I might never come to discover. Many wide open, patiently waiting for me to wander about their corridors. Many indefinitely shut, forever holding back what was never mine to begin with. So I say this now, less so apprehensively and much more liberally, so that I can for once find the courage to step outside this fabricated reality we all perpetuate within our own minds. A collection of fragmented memories, a catalog of one's romanticized delusions, a tapestry of distorted visions, with a graveyard and a garden of dreams, a memoir of what is wrong and what is right, an ever-evolving manual on how to obtain approval, acceptance, love. The motor that drives our perpetual survival, misguided as an absolute prerequisite to everlasting peace and contentment. deceptively unattainable, always just out of reach. A destructive construction when the malleability and partiality of perspective is forgotten. No perspective less than any other, not one ever absolute. I had found so much comfort and safety in my own reality, my own perspectives, that I had never considered letting go of the rails and walking off into the wilderness of the mountains and trenches that constitute the universe in its entirety. Pieces of a bigger picture, a spherical mosaic of perspectives, never ending and self-containing, in constant revolution, up and down, here and there, all around, like horses on a carousel. So I say this because I've let go of the significance of my own perspective, the absolutism of my own reality, not because it is any less important now, but because I've come to realize its incompleteness. My focus has shifted, partially out of frame, helping me remember that there ever was a frame, that there's always a movement to be made and a world to explore, a truth to be found and a life to be lived, another perspective to be born for an omniscient story to be told, a beginning and an end. Where a door must close, another shall open. Always a choice, always myself. So I say this because I've chosen to listen to the calling that echoes from deep within my own heart, to let go of the rails lining this path of familiar doors, to let go of my world, my perspectives, myself, so that I can discover where this uncertainty goes and find meaning in the chapters it holds.